Morning all, we're just waiting for one of our guests to arrive and we'll start shortly. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to each one of you. We hope you had a great start to your morning with a refreshing breakfast. As we get up for an insightful and engagement event, we request all attendees to kindly take their seats as we are about to begin. I, Professor Sanchi Bhide, am honored to welcome you to the International Management Research Conference 2025. Collaboration lies at the heart of progress. In SIES School of Business Studies is privileged to partner with our sister academic institutions that share our commitment to academic excellence and research innovation. We are honored to collaborate with SIES Indian Institute of Environment Management, SIES School of Packaging Technology Center, SIES College of Management Studies, and SIES School of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Their invaluable support and partnership have been instrumental in bringing this conference to life, fostering a dynamic platform for insightful discussions and knowledge exchange. Established in 1996, SIES School of Business Studies has a rich legacy of over 25 years in providing quality management education. Originally, part of the SIES College of Management Studies, it became an independent entity in 2020. This event exemplifies our institution's dedication to fostering knowledge, innovation, and collaboration among students, educators, and industry professionals. We are pleased to present our conference theme, A Whole New World, the Business Landscape in an Emerging Era. In a time of unprecedented technological advancements, evolving global dynamics, and transformative market trends, this event serves as a strategic platform to examine the opportunities and challenges shaping the future of business. We are honored to welcome distinguished speakers and industry experts who will share their invaluable insights. Over our conveyors for the conference, Dr. Gunjan Hasjani and Dr. Swati Checker have meticulously planned the conference, ensuring dynamic, engaging, and impactful conference experience with focus on knowledge sharing. We extend our sincere appreciation to our esteemed award sponsors, Board Infinity and ImpactSure Technologies, for their generous support. Their contributions play a pivotal role in recognizing and celebrating exceptional research and innovation, while also inspiring continued excellence in academic and professional endeavors. It is an honor to have all of you here as we embark on a journey of knowledge sharing, research excellence, and collaboration. At SIES, as per our traditions, the commencement of proceedings of any occasion start by invoking the blessings of the Almighty. We shall now commence this auspicious event with Saraswati Vandana, a sacred invocation of the goddess of knowledge and wisdom. I request the dignitaries and senior members of the institute to light the traditional lamp, and I request our student Dhanali to recite the Saraswati Vandana in her melodious voice.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवे सदा वन्दिता सा मा पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
Thank you. With this, we officially inaugurate the International Management Research Conference 2020-25. Ushers, I please request you to escort the dignitaries to the dais. To extend a formal welcome to our esteemed guests, participants, and scholars, I invite Professor Dr. Deepa Dikshit, our Director of SIES School of Business Studies, to deliver the welcoming address.
Good morning, everybody. It's indeed a great pleasure to have so many researchers under one roof. Dear fellow colleagues, head of institutes of my sister institutions, members on the dais, faculty members and students from other institutions who have come here today to participate in the research conference, and my students from the SIES, SBS and Comms campus and faculty. It's a fantastic morning because just yesterday we were talking about, while researchers are usually looking at ways in which they can delve deeper, etc. Getting them all together at one place and exchanging views sometimes becomes a challenge in a city like Mumbai. But I think the amount of work that the conveners, Dr. Swati Chekkar and Dr. Gunjan have put together has been humongous. Really glad that we could connect with the support from all the faculty members and the student community. It has been really wonderful to see that there are researchers from different areas, be it marketing, IT, HR, finance, operations, general management, sustainability, and pharma and biotech, which is a big piece which we will address tomorrow. It's wonderful to see everybody come together. There are close to over 100 papers and abstracts that we have received. A lot of them are excellent. We've also in IT itself, over these 100 got another close to around 30 odd papers technology related, so we're very curious to know about the kind of work that young students are undertaking. We began this yesterday with the pre-conference, and we had the joy of having 3 very eloquent speakers from leading institutions both in India as well as outside. We had our first speaker from MICA, Varsha Jain, Dr. Varsha Jain, and I'm just going to highlight a couple of things that I've learned in this entire 3-4 months and looking at where research is heading. So 2-3 things that most people have said in the last few months is that research, of course, is becoming important across all business schools, all educational institutions. The government is also setting an agenda for it, and so are the HR communities working within the education segment. But most importantly, the focus has to remain on impact-driven research. And for business schools, what is this impact that we are talking about? So without connecting with industry and without understanding what contextual changes are going to happen in the near future on account of changes, this new landscape that is emerging, research would then remain irrelevant and possibly just academic in nature. So therefore, we brought it upon ourselves to ensure that on every platform in these 2 days, we try and bring in both industry as well as academicians who are undertaking research. We also had Dr. Neena from Vivekananda Education Society yesterday, who was talking about copywriting, and not only for industry, but also for faculty members who bring in a lot of interesting ideas and how we could take this ahead. So she really shed some light on how this does not have to just remain an academic exercise for publishing, but something that can really contribute to change in the society around us. So I'm really looking forward to listen to what these researchers have to say, young as well as experienced. And I hope that at the end of all of this, we are able to design something that will help us move ahead in the kind of knowledge that we have, in the way that we are thinking, and the kind of impact that we are ready to make. Thank you very much for making it here today, and I'm looking for an interesting exchange of thoughts. Thank you, members on the dais, for taking the time and being present here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring words and for setting the tone for this conference. Your vision and leadership continues to guide us towards excellence. Now, we would proceed ahead with felicitating our esteemed guests. I request Dr. Deepa Dikshit ma'am and Dr. Nitin Vajrani sir to felicitate Mr. Anil Salvi, MD and Group Head Human Resource for JM Financials and CEO Real Estate Consulting Business, Dwello. Thank you, sir and ma'am. Next, I request Dr. Deepa Dikshit ma'am and Dr. Gunjan Hasijani ma'am to felicitate Dr. Manjari Srivastava, Associate Dean Academic Programs, KJ Somaya Institute of Management Studies and Research. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Dr. Deepa Dikshit ma'am and Dr. Rajesh Nair sir to felicitate Mr. Sachin Nair, Strategic Planning Specialist at Mahindra & Mahindra Financial Services Limited. Thank you, ma'am and sir. As we begin with the inaugural address, it is my privilege to introduce the distinguished speakers who will deliver the inaugural address one by one. We first have Mr. Anil Salvi, who is the Managing Director and Group Head Human Resource for JM Financials and CEO Real Estate Consulting Business for Dwello. Mr. Salvi is a distinguished leader with over 30 years of experience across global multinationals and leading firms like Royal Bank of Scotland Business, Deutsche Bank AG, Syntel Inc. He has played a pivotal role in banking, investment banking, shared services, IT, and technology distributions businesses. He brings deep expertise in change management, post-merger integration, talent strategy, and business leadership with PLN responsibility. Mr. Salvi, following the completion of his master's degree in business administration with specialization in human resources, has had a steadfast commitment to continuous learning and professional growth. His academic journey includes prestigious programs from Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, AGSM at UNSW Business School, the CEO Leadership Grid, Administrative Staff, College of India, and Indian Institute of Management, Mumbai. His current work in progress is Doctors of Business Administration, Human Resource Management, Personal Administration from Swiss School of Business and Management. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Anil Salvi. There's a development that he's completed his research just last week, just adding on to it. We welcome you, sir.
Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. So, the flowers are all nice. If there would have been roses, it would have been great, right? And I was wondering today, I was called for this inaugural address, and my wife asked twice, is it exactly some kind of conference that is happening on today? So thank you, Nitin, for those photographs. I just sent that to her, but she's traveling, and then she's kind of wondering, what exactly I'm up to.
Perhaps take a gift for her when you go back.
Yeah, so I'll have to probably, that's the reason I said if it had been roses, I would have snitched a few from here. But I'm not particularly good at buying them. Yeah, so here we are. So this, I was wondering why today, and then probably I got an answer. Just like wives, the teachers and the professors have this uncanny ability. The moment they see students being little happy or comfortable, yeah, so in this time, it is not only the students and the fellow faculty, but also the near and dear ones who are in the space of influence, people like us, have been, subjected to this grind. So thank you so very much, everybody, for being here. That was, I'm sure, on the lighter vein. There was a conversation that we've had with the faculty, and the ask was tall, but the time given was 20 minutes, right? So I'll try to do whatever that I could do. In fact, a talk on the Valentine's Day, the background, how it started, and the importance and the criticality would have been also a good subject to talk about, would have been relevant, but nonetheless, I think I'm going to talk about something which is relevant to this conference. Thank you so very much, the faculty, director, and the students, and all the attendees here for joining us today. I'm sure you're going to have next couple of days, Doctor, isn't it? Yeah, so today and tomorrow. I wish you a good time, a good learning experience in next couple of days. I just put some 2, 3, 4 slides here, and I particularly don't like jargons, right? And then I just came across something. How many of us know carbon monoxide? All right, many of us know it, right? Those people who didn't raise the hand, please go outside and inhale some oxygen and come back, right? So, yeah, there's something which I came across, which also titled jargon monoxide. So, use of jargons in the corporate world is also equally painful, and then it so happens that, and I've been in that side for long. So what happens in a meeting room or a conference room, you suddenly talk about a jargon. The other person who is participating feels that he's uneducated, so he also puts something. So there's a kind of a competition that happens in those corporate meetings, right? One tries to up. Otherwise, if you don't join the gang, you appear uninformed, right? So, but I've never been a fan. But today, I'm using something which. How does it work? Yeah. I need to come close. Okay. So here we are. Can you see? The screen. I think. Yeah. All right. There we are. Right. So it's working. Will it work from here? So very commonplace thing. I'm going to ask and help me. The students, of course, know it, but humor me with this. VUCA is? Right, so here we are, right? Yeah. So this is what it is. You know where this got coined? The students must know it, right? The genesis of VUCA? Where did it come from? Yeah. Sorry? Ah, next. Anybody wants to take a guess? Sorry? Yeah, US Army, right? So I think, which year, which decade?
1987. 1987.
Yeah, it is correct. So yeah, and when did it become popular in our side of the world? Yeah, early 2000s. So about 20 odd years, and it's about 20 years since I have been listening to this, right? And it became very fashionable to talk about it. But I think very very relevant, right? I think it's been very interesting, and I think every year I would have heard about this or referred to this at least 20 times. Next question, is it still relevant? Yeah?
There's Bali that is coming into picture.
Sorry?
Bali is also coming into picture now. There is something that is written.
Yeah, yeah. Sure. So my question is whatever talking about, volatility, uncertainty, etc., is it still relevant? Yes, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay. So you need to go back and go forward, right? Now another question. Is it relevant in the new world business landscape? Right, I've just shortened the theme here for, वो कहते हैं ना कि सहूलियत के लिए I have essentially taken the liberty to shorten it, right? It probably now is two different meanings, right? Is it relevant in the new world or business landscape? Yes? Yeah? Still relevant? Is it as relevant as it was 20 years ago? More relevant? All right. So I think that's something which which should be subjected to debate and discussion, right? And I think the fonts are smaller here. I guess in my view, and then this is particularly my view, right? I think VUCA in its form has made place to a very different kind of a challenge and issue today, right? If you actually go back, I'm just going to take that liberty of going back, right? What does VUCA means, right? Volatility, right? And we're talking about today's world, which is essentially technology driven. What does the technology does to you? What end result? What it facilitates? Sorry? It facilitates change. What does an AI does, or what does the BI does? It does convenience. Now, for example, if you see that uncertainty, right, which is essentially difficulty in predicting what the future trends are. What does the technology does to you? Sorry? It helps you predict, right? Right? So that's essentially the change which is essentially brought about by the kind of technology or advent of the technology which has come about. So most of the stuff that you see here has been massively impacted by the way we do business today and the way we look at business. The relevance was this, to my mind, the challenges that I faced as a business leader 20 years ago are very, very different to the challenges that I face today. I had the complexity issues, or I had the issues of things being very complex. Today, I don't think that I have the technology is there and then the processes are there when I could probably declutter stuff. Predictability, uncertainty, to an extent, I know how do I predict and how do I basically address the issue or challenge. So most of this stuff you see here, be it ambiguity, be it uncertainty, be it volatility, and to a large extent the complex nature of the business, is kind of getting addressed, and technology is playing a massive role in the same. So my question, is it still relevant? Yes and no. Yes and no, right? Yes, in broader sense, but how it got interpreted maybe about 10, 15, 20 years ago, at least the way I interpreted it at that point in time was very, very different than the way today, when I go to work, right, so I was introduced as somebody who leads HR and somebody who leads a business. My issues are none of these issues, right? VUCA is not my challenge at all. It doesn't give me sleepless night. Maybe 15, 20 years ago it did. And the students and also academicians, I think you'll have to basically look at the new world and what are the kind of issues and the challenges that you're going to face. Very different. Very, very different. They are going to be much more micro, they are going to be much more agile, and they are going to be extremely fast paced. And then here, if you see, and I talked about the disruptive technology. So what worries me, am I able to keep up with pace with the technology? Right? The business which I lead is technology dependent. And that gives me sleepless nights. If the technology changes, if the dependence of mine and the business model is so much on technology today, if anything, any change that undergoes there, it impacts my business and the way I'm going to operate. You look at, also by virtue of the knowledge, information, early on the day we were talking about the kind of awareness that is building by virtue of everybody being on the social media and having access to the information that is there. The consumer preferences are also massively undergoing change, right? One of the business that we run is a broking business. Somebody came across and Nitin introduced him to me about somebody who is well aware of the markets. So we run the broking business. So we used to have, I think JM Financial is 50 years into the broking business, one of the oldest firm on the street. But you have the new way of doing the broking, right? You heard about the Zerodhas and Upstocks, right? Right. And I think they just one fine day they overtook. Their market cap would be probably 10 times than ours. Yeah. Zerodha is not yet listed, but I think they will get listed for massively at a massive premium, given the kind of business model that they have. So they're basically doing the same business, but they are doing it differently. And I think that's the kind of a change that has happened. And the firms like us, we couldn't keep pace. Sadly, I think we're trying to do our bit, but I think they disrupted it, right? So the consumers are also changing in terms of how they would like to bank or how they would like to do business with the service providers like us. There are again the new business models, right? So I run a business of real estate broking, but this is entirely technology dependent business, right? I don't have a physical engagement with anybody. So all the leads that I generate, 100% of the leads that get generated is through the technology. So Google or the Facebook is what I use. I generate about 100 odd leads. I ensure 10 people visit a property, 1 person buys a property. So the 1% conversion is my thumb rule, and that's something which I achieve. That's the model. I sell about 200 apartments. Each apartment essentially I make between 2 to 3 lakh rupees, so 6 to 7 crore is the revenue that I make a month. The lead costs me about 700-800 rupees each. 100 leads, how much? Quickly, 70,000. How much revenue I said I make per transaction? 2 to 3 lakhs, right? 2 to 3% is why 1 crore is essentially the average kind of a deal size. So about 30 odd % of my cost is the technology marketing cost. Another 30% is basically the employee cost. 20%, another 15 to 20% is the other cost, the infrastructure, etc. And the rest could be the profit, 10 to 20%. Right? What will happen if my marketing cost goes up by another 20%? Today is 700 rupees, all of a sudden it becomes 1200 rupees. What will happen? I'm out of business. What will happen if my conversion is not 1% but half percent? Yeah, I'm still out of business. So these are the kind of variables. So conversion is something which I can probably control, but I really don't have any control on how much the technology, because Google has a monopoly. So that gives me sleepless night. tomorrow my lead cost increases from 700 to 1200 or 1400 rupees, I'm out of business. Is that serious? Right? So you're talking about something which is very, very unique and a different kind of challenge. So my challenges are very different to what they used to be in I'm just giving you certain examples, which are real life examples, which I deal with. And I earlier said that, my worry today is not VUCA, but the technology, but the external factors, the fear of unseen and unknown. Also, you would see, there is a significant talk about the sustainability and the ESG, right? And I think, in your time and your generation, I think you are going to spend more and more effort and time in terms of addressing these real-time issues, right? Globally, there's a massive kind of an awareness and understanding. As also, if you actually go out, there are going to be a lot of legislations, a lot of regulations which are going to govern how big. And one of my favorite is, what and how. In earlier times, all of us were massively driven by what, which is, what are you going to deliver in time to come. And when you guys, especially the students, when you go out, you're actually going to be also evaluated on how you are going to deliver the business. And the sustainability, the ESG mechanisms are going to play a massive role in how you're going to deliver the kind of agenda that you would be expected to deliver. So, again, this is Anil Salvi interpretation. I think you could fault me for this. And this presentation was put by me in about an hour's time yesterday night. I sat with one of the team members and actually put something together. The idea of putting the presentation that I don't end up talking only about the Valentine's Day and then stay focused on this. So I think, so I'm actually thankful to the team member who actually helped me put this. So the challenges, right? And here again, the way I see it, and VUCA is not my worry. My worry here is, as earlier I talked about technology. When you come out, you will basically be talking about. Anybody can talk about or explain what technology democratization is? Have you heard about technology democratization?
Providing technology to all parts
All right. Yeah.
in a cheaper way.
Yeah. Anybody else?
There should be no monopoly in the technology.
Yeah. All right.
Like Google has.
Like Google has. Yeah. All right. So I think Prime Minister Modi was there in Paris, right? And I think they spoke about technology democratization, right? So currently the technology is controlled or in possession of a few developed countries, and there is this ask about democratization of the technology, right? In the sense the access of technology to everybody. Otherwise, if somebody has an access, assume that somebody has a laptop and somebody doesn't, and you're asked to put a presentation. So of course you are at a massive disadvantage, right? So it's something as rudimentary as that, something which is essentially you have the same kind of an advantage. And then technology is the biggest lever that you're going to have in time to come. There's also ethical tech, right? And that's something again is going to talk about or essentially going to weigh down. I think the technology used ethically. I think people were worried about earlier nuclear weapons. Now people are worried about the technology. What technology possibly could do to damage a business or a social framework is immense, right? I think there is always this accusation of social media playing a kind of role that they should not. Correct? So I think ethical use of technology is something which you're going to be deliberating a lot. Of course, you are also going to be spending a lot of time on the data security. And believe you me, in the board meetings that today we have, there's almost 20-30% of the time we're worried about how secure the data is, because the way all of us are doing business and the dependence on the technology, I think the way we are doing the business, the way we are handling the security, etc., becomes extremely critical and important aspect. We earlier spoke about the consumer bit, and these are the challenges essentially we are going to be facing. The preferences of the consumer is going to change rapidly. And as you run the businesses, as you provide the services to those consumers, you need to be agile and very quick to estimate and engage the consumers accordingly. And of course, the geopolitical implications. You've seen what happens to the market. The people who are, how many of the finance students here? How much the market has fallen for last 3-4 days? Kitna gira hai? Yeah, I think you guys are not there yet. Sorry? Trend is bullish, bearish? Bullish? Why? Why?
Foreign investors.
Foreign investment? Sorry? They are going, why? I know, right? So I think there is a kind of a bit of an uncertainty in terms of how the things are going to pan out for the Indian businesses in time to come, right? The exports are going to be earlier the steel stocks were down because Trump said he's going to levy some 25% duty. I think a couple of days back, I think the aluminum stocks were down by 5 to 10% because he said he's going to levy the aluminum as well, and we don't know what all things that he's going to levy, right? So as the products are going to get levied in US, we are of course net exporters to the US. The business are going to get impacted, and to that extent, yes, things are extremely bearish. So geopolitical issues and the challenges are going to impact the way we are going to do business in time to come. And here's the new world of resilience and agility. I'm sorry, I have to basically look behind, but because I can't read there. Yeah. So how you're going to basically remain resilient and remain agile, right? You'll have to basically recognize and adopt technology. Recognize is basically accept that technology is here to stay, right? And it's going to play the major and massive role that is going to play in your life. And adapt to it, right? Try and see how you could integrate the technology in the way you're doing business. Similar, continuous point, remain relevant to the technology, right? I think, whatever the technology is going to change, and there's no choice but to you to stay relevant to the technology which is going to, come by. Obviously, focus on the innovation and the continuous learning. I talked about being agility and the leadership that you're going to have. Of course, as a leader, you'll also need to engage yourself in planning various scenarios in terms of predicting how things are going to evolve, etc. I think a lot of time today we also spend in assessing the risk. The risk is something which you'll basically have to spend more time on. Anybody who is part of say finance or the business or sales, I think risk management is something which I think you spend some time on and understanding a little more. How much time I overshot by? All right, so I think I'm getting there. And all right, so I'm just going to run past and whisk through this slide as well. We already indirectly spoken about this earlier on. We talked about the technology democratization. We talked. Oh, I think we gone back.
Yes.
All right. And happy Valentine's Day to you again. Right. I just hope that, ma'am, you close the conference well in time for people to have their evenings. Thank you so very much. Have a great day. It was a joy to talk to you today. In case you have any questions, more than happy to answer them. I don't know what's the format, ma'am.
We'll take the
Questions substitute when everybody's done, right? Thank you so very much. It was my pleasure. Once again, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Starting with the humor and jargon monoxide to relevance of VUCA today, to making us understand the current challenges being agile, micro, and fast pace. To how the new world needs resilience and agility to thrive in the business landscape in the new era. Thank you, sir, for sharing your priceless perspective. It's a privilege now to introduce Dr. Manjari Srivastava, Associate Dean, Academic Programs, KJ Somaya Institute of Management Studies and Research. Dr. Srivastava has more than 2 decades of experience in the field of business management studies in various capacities as an academician, researcher, and a senior administrator. She was associated with School of Business Management, Narsi Monjri Institute of Management Studies, Mumbai, since December 2007, and has recently joined KJ Somaiya Institute of Management Studies and Research as Associate Dean Academic Programs. She has more than 40 publications in leading international and national journals. She has been involved with executive training for corporates like L&T, Loop Mobile, Ambuja Cement, etc. in various areas like team building, conflict management, personal effectiveness, and performance management. She was also nominated as a member of Expert Appraisal Committee for the Environmental Appraisal of Thermal Power in Coal Mines Project under the Ministry of Environment, Forests, and Climate Change, Government of India as Social Scientist from 2017 to 2020. She is also empaneled with National Board of Accreditation under AICTE to conduct accreditation audits for various management institutes in India. Let's extend a warm welcome to Dr. Manjari Srivastava as she addresses the audience.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. I think my job has become easier now after Mr. Anand has spoken. Yeah. Am I audible? Yeah. Yeah, so it's much easier now because what we are going to talk today in terms of this whole new world business landscape in the emerging era, a lot of concerns that practitioners are facing has already been shared. Some aspect of has been shared by the previous speaker, but nevertheless I would extend on it, giving your examples, Mr. Sharma. I would just extend on it, and I would be sharing some aspect of what is changing in this this new era. I'll try to bring some information which I have collated on the basis of published research, trying to understand where we are going and what do we need to go ahead in the area of management education. Yeah, so I'm honored to be here, and I thank faculty and students and the practitioners and the organizers who are here for inviting me for this session. So this entire theme, we all understand that it could not have been more relevant than today. Today is a Valentine's Day, right? So we're talking about what really does it mean when you're talking about Valentine. Valentine is something that you really love, care, respect, yeah, you have gratitude for. And when you're talking about today's world, we live in this world, we need to have that kind of love, respect, gratitude, concern, and everything for the place where we are in. And I think it could have been, I think, one of those best days that we are talking about the concern that which we are facing as a student, as an educator, as a practitioner. We must talk about it on Valentine's Day, and then of course party hard in the evening. Yeah, so with this I go ahead and talk about the changing landscape. Yeah, so we just heard about the VUCA, which is already there, and then emerging uncertainties in the environment, and we all know that disruption has happened. It's already, no, we are facing this. So let me, yeah. It is on, I hope? Yes. Yeah, it's on. Yeah. You have to click this side. Yes, I know. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm trying. Yeah, could be. Yeah. It's moving, yeah. So it took some time. Yeah. So what do you see here on the screen? We're trying to visualize the disruption. We're trying to visualize the technological advancement, the changing workforce, their expectations. We're trying to visualize the sustainability, and our social responsibility. We have been hearing the words like AI, artificial intelligence, or machine learning, blockchain, automation. I don't call it jargon, sir. These are the realities. Yeah, so we are talking about it, and of course, Internet of Things. And all these things are fundamentally, altering our industries, and they are fundamentally challenging our research, which is going on. And we need to really look into this. Yeah, just have a look. When I was searching on it, I said, okay, let me understand what kind of words, what emerges when you're talking about the changing landscape. In this new era, we find that words like transformation, research, insights, evolving, business, leadership, reshaping, sustainability, rapid changes, digitalization. I mean, so many, so on and so forth. I mean, there would be so many disruption. I'm sure you all would agree with this. And let us see what is happening in our world in terms of these changing landscape. I'm going to talk about one of the experiments, or research that happened in MIT, USA. So MIT's Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory, they're working on a groundbreaking project aimed at revolutionizing healthcare through AI. One of the key focus of Intelligent Health Initiative is the development of AI system that can help diagnose disease earlier and more accurately than traditional methods. One such project involves using machine learning algorithm to analyze medical images such as X-rays and MRIs. The AI system is trained to detect pattern in the images that may be difficult for human doctors to spot. For instance, the system could help identify early stage cancers or heart diseases or even diabetes by analyzing pattern in imaging data. So researchers at MIT are working on AI-driven personalized healthcare, where AI models can predict an individual's future health risk based on their medical history, lifestyle, and genetic factors. So this allows for more tailor-made proactive health intervention rather than a reactive approach. So this project has immense potential to improve the patient outcome, reduce healthcare cost, and expand access to quality medical care. So this has immense impact. So when we are talking about these kind of disruptions that's happening, we're not talking about anything negative in nature. We're trying to see how we can improve our lives. Another intervention or another research which is happening at IIT Kharagpur. This is about an example of AI for sustainable agriculture. They're using AI and machine learning to improve agriculture practices and promote sustainability. Their project involves the development of an AI-powered system that can help farmers to optimize their crop yields while minimizing the environmental impact. And they're using machine learning model for that. They're also using remote sensing, drones, for their, to understand the real-time data, collecting real-time data about soil moisture, pest infestation, and crop health. So, and these are some wonderful examples where we see how disruption is changing the world, and this precision farming is happening and improving our economy. So, when we talk about the research, I think this is where we need to put our efforts and investment in. Yeah. Yeah, fine. Okay, so we realize over here that these key themes are important. I have given you an example, and so we're seeing that these key themes are helping us understand exploring the evolving business landscape in the face of rapid transformation. And an example of real estate we just heard from Sir, right? Digital disruption, AI, and the sustainability reshaping business model. we just listen to what MIT is doing. The need for research-driven insights and adaptability. That is what we need to do. And on this, I will just share my own personal experience in my currently ongoing research in the area of sustainability. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'll just, and maybe it's long, but I'll quickly make it short for you to understand. So, I'm conducting a research, how business adapt to digital transformation. So I happened to had a chance, I and my co-researchers had to happen a chance to interview a leadership team and and again a CEO of a well-established company. Okay, so and they used to do traditional business. They were very, very successful in their traditional business. The model was there for the decades, and they prided themselves on a strong personal relationship with clients and a steady, predictable market. So they were comfortable. Okay. But as technology advanced and customers shifted, they found themselves at the crossroad. So one of our discussions, the CEO admitted that he said that we understand that world is changing, but we are unsure how to navigate it. We have always done business in a certain way. What if changing too much makes us lose what made us successful in the first place? So here is a concern, and this common theme emerged across other senior leadership working in industry. So many organizations, they now recognize the need to adapt, but they struggled how to be effective. They needed not just intuition or experience, but they needed research-driven insight to guide their decision making. That is what is really required. So we are talking about that whatever the decision making happens in the world today, in the world of business and otherwise, it requires evidence-based strategies. They need to transform whatever they have been doing, in terms of their operations, and they need to use AI-powered analytics. They need to restructure their supply chain. They need to do everything with sustainability in mind. So sustainability is a big thing. Which we need to live with it, we need to own with responsibility. So research is not just theoretical in nature, it is crucial for business navigating this unpredictable landscape. So organizations have to embrace research, academicians have to go much forward what they have been doing earlier. Organizations are practicing, and we have to keep a pace with that and keep guiding each one of us. So what is the role of research and innovation? We realize that this is a research conference, and we must appreciate that this serves the backbone of modern business strategies. It helps us anticipate the trend and being futuristic and trying to understand what kind of disruptions are there. It is helping us bridging the gap between academia and industry. Often we talk about that, what academicians do and what corporations practice or industry practice. There's a huge gap, there's a huge divide. No more are the days that we can live with those divides. I think we have to coexist, so work hand in hand. And we all have to move towards the data-driven insights for sustainable growth. Look at it. The business trends in emerging economy. These are the emerging business trends where we see that digital adoption, sustainability, economic growth, and AI integration, the growth percentage in a couple of last few years, and this data is coming from Standards & Poor Global, where we find that digital adoption is of course high, it's 70%. So that means industries are at it and they are making an investment, and we see the growth. Sustainability, though of course it is almost 60% growth percentage, but it needs to go far ahead compared to other areas. Economic growth we see rising, and AI integration also, and maybe there is a very strong correlation among these factors which are driving the growth and which are other emerging trends in this economy. The research trend in emerging economies, okay, we find that again, based upon the data which I could see, from the published resources, see that sustainability research, more than 50%, technology innovation is quite high, research in the area of focus is quite high in technology innovation, market policy is still on the lower side, but then it's very important because what we see over here, again, share prices, the entire financial market, which is, dwindling, unless we have a clear understanding, things would, of course, it's not that things would be stable, but yes, the variation or volatility would come down. AI and data science, yes, there's a lot of investment across the world, and we see a lot of, again, growth, investment, and the research focus in these areas. So I won't be reading it out all, but just a quick insight I just picked up sustainability because it requires a lot of attention from all of us. And so it says that, okay, the aim of sustainability research has been to bridge the barrier between diverse disciplines that engage with sustainability research. And what we have found is that even in the area of sustainability, the research is mostly happening in the area of science and technology and engineering. We need to really think about sustainability from other disciplines also. So multidisciplinary approach is what is required. Assessment of sustainability is really required, and very few efforts are being taken over there. And another interesting point is that there's more sustainability research in developing and emerging country context than developed country. While it is not surprising that economic and environmental sustainability research related dominate, present social sustainability research is found to be mostly skewed only towards health and safety themes. Themes like diversity, inclusion, they are still under researched, and we need to really pay our attention to it. Again, I talked about it earlier. So what we see that there's a surge in AI, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and IoT sustainability research. And we are finding a new research trend, technological integration since 2020. How technology can integrate and bring, we can leverage the technology for building strategies and the businesses. It has a, okay, just so what we're saying that's because there's interconnectedness. Companies can adopt sustainable business strategies and develop sustainable products by utilizing digital technologies. However, the digital economy faces obstacles that could hinder the achievement of sustainability goal. Because we're talking about if we go by digital technology, we are saying that jobs would go away. How do we do? What do we do? But I think this is just a fear. Maybe we are not really knowing what to do next. The question is that are we really upskilling ourselves? So upskilling, okay, and reskilling, developing new skills and competencies, that is what is required. So the challenge encompasses the increase in electronic waste, this is what is happening, higher energy consumption, carbon emission due to being digital, okay, one of the challenges that we are facing, the presence of digital divide, it is still not closed, job insecurity, the growth of monopolies, and concern about data production. So yes, risk is one factor, which was again in the previous speaker talked about it, that we have to learn to manage risk and how to look in terms of digital transformation and disruption that we have to decide. So to advance sustainability through the digital economy, it is crucial to address these challenges, and research comes as a big help if you do it seriously. And we find when we see the comparison, business versus research trend, we find that the blue lines are business focused, red are research focused. The blue line says that digital transformation, it is high, whereas research focus is slightly low. Sustainability, again, we find that business focus is low, research focus is comparatively high. AI integration is almost closer to each other, where we find that business focus is slightly less and research focus. In terms of research, we're doing more. Economic growth, we find that yes, in the area of economic growth, research focus has dwindled, whereas business focus has gone up. So that's quite interesting, and again, data from the published resources, we are talking about how, industries, trends and the business emerging market research trends are changing and what's happening around the world. So emerging perspective, emerging markets will play a very important, crucial role in shaping global economy, contributing about 65% of global economic growth by 2035. Despite their vast potential, however, per capita income will remain well below that of advanced economies. So we have to be, we have to really work hard. Over the coming decades, supportive demographics and technological developments could boost emerging markets' productivity and consequently economic growth. So there is a hope that yes, if we continue and we put more effort in a policy research, in sustainability research, AI and technology, things are going to improve. So what does it mean for us? We need to prepare ourselves, for the future. So as a management education, we need to equip our students as the future leader by developing essential skills and knowledge for decision making. We need to foster critical thinking and ethical framework. We need to integrate sustainability and ethics in our curriculum, because curricula, if it is not talking about sustainability and ethical framework, we are missing out. We need to prepare leaders to assess and mitigate their societal and environmental impact. We need to encourage innovations and collaborations. We need to emphasize creative solutions for complex problems. We need to foster partnership across sector for holistic approach. It cannot be just, manufacturing or chemical, or a service. We have to see how everything works in tandem. We need to promote global awareness and citizenship, develop adaptive skills. We need to prepare students for dynamic and rapidly changing environment. We need to engage global discussions on responsible management practices, and that should be the part of the entire focus on management curricula and the research. So we are saying that business must embrace change, invest in research, and foster innovation. Engage in dialogue, collaboration, and continuous learning. Let us shape the future of business together. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. From highlighting key themes in business landscape being transformation, research insights, adaptability, sustainability, and technical disruptions, giving us examples from the MIT and IIT Kharagpur research, mentioning that research is crucial for businesses and academics to navigate the changing business landscape because it is dynamic and fluid. Sharing research trends across themes and highlighting the gap areas where we need more attention through published research. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing all these valuable insights. Thank you so much. I further introduce you to our alum of 1998-2000 batch, Mr. Sachin Nair, Strategic Planning Specialist at Mahindra & Mahindra Financial Services Limited. He is a seasoned strategist and a business leader with extensive experience across the Mahindra Group through Mahindra Finance, Mahindra Insurance Brokers, Mahindra Engineering Consultant, and various other global consulting firms. Currently heading strategy at Mahindra and Mahindra Financial Services Limited, he has led mergers and acquisition, business growth, and digital transformation initiatives across financial services, insurance, and consulting. With a career spanning over 2 decades, he has worked on global development projects with the World Bank, UNIDO, IFC, and has played a key role in shaping strategic alliances and sustainable business models. A recipient of the RISE Award for the social sector contribution, he is also a passionate advocate of ESG and sustainability. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sachin Nair. Over to you, sir.
Okay, some of you are seeing me for the third time on this podium. Thank you for bearing me once again. If you do not know about me a bit, then it is, you won't know what I'm trying to say or communicate. Vikram, you've been a junior. So Vikram is a junior. I passed out in the year 2000, 1998, 2000. So it's the same thing, the same stairs and the same auditorium. Neelkantan sir used to be here, Shankar sir used to be here, all those old memories. Okay, about me, I passed out in 2000, I joined Godrej and Boyce in the typewriter division. You know there was a thing called typewriter? Yeah. I did not, Madani I was, so I'll speak in both languages. If you want to add Marathi, let me know. So then there was a professor here called S.J. Vijay, who used to teach us international finance. उसमें top mark मिलते थे, बाकी मैं पास होते थे. So he joined a company. That was the time of the special economic zone, SIES. उस time पे. I don't know if you many of you remember. And this was a project to set up a city in a district called Dwarka, which is the last district on Gujarat. Yeah. It was a very big project. The project, when I joined, we were about 11 people recruited from this campus. And by the time I left around 3 years, we were 300 and 400 people there. I was in the project finance department. My job was to get the financial closure for that project and also to invite global companies to manufacture in that zone. The Make in India what started that time. 3 years I worked, then I had a brief scholarship I got to study in Rotterdam. Then I came back and joined a British company called Mott MacDonald, where I did a lot of my projects. See, 2003 to 2008, I think it was UPA ending or UPA first or something like that. Credit was available like crazy and India was clocking 9.2% GDP growth. And now you imagine the number of projects that was coming to all consulting companies. Wholesale पे projects आए, बहुत सारे projects आए. मजा आया. I mean, I traveled across the world on projects. Most of my projects came from SBI Capital Markets and new entrepreneurs who wanted to set up new businesses. That was the startup of those days. But mostly I have worked in manufacturing. And 2008 I got an opportunity to work in Mahindra & Mahindra. And I joined the Group Strategy Office. The Group Strategy Office was created by Anand Mahindra as an internal consulting arm, so that instead of going to McKinsey, instead of going to Bain, we have a set of people who can give you advice across the businesses. And it's been 2008 and now it's been almost close to 17 years that I have been with the group. This is my 6th group company, Mahindra Financial Services now. But I worked across auto components, Mahindra Logistics. One of my earlier project was on the yachts business. You know what yacht is? The luxury boats. And then I was put into the logistics business, dealing with drivers and truck drivers, and then over a period of time with boleros and the kind of customers that we have is एक driver है और एक Club Mahindra customer है, एक yacht का customer है, एक people who are buying boleros and all that, so farm and all these things. It's not easy to think. I don't know how many of you can. I mean, it's imagine that you have to think. You are in a strategy role. Research is what underlines your core work. Research is at the bottom of everything. आपको उस छोटे से गांव में भी जाना है, आपको बॉम्बे में और गोवा में जो यॉट ओन करता है उनके पास भी जाना है. यू हैव टू थिंक लाइक दैट कि कौन सा बिजनेस चलेगा, वो सोचेगा कैसा, उसकी बिजनेस कैसी होने वाली है. You know, that was the range of straddling across this, and it was I don't know. See, Mahindra becomes a part of me. 17 years is a long time, so some examples might come in. So please bear with me for that. You know, once upon a time, Mahindra was the largest exporter of grapes. Are you aware? Grapes, no? So we have a company under Mahindra Tractor or the Agri division called the Shubh Labh. Mahindra Shubh Labh में Mahindra Agro Seeds division है. शुभ लाभ क्या करता है कि सीड्स का जो ट्रेनिंग है, ये सीड्स देता है नासिक में ग्रो करते हैं. वी डू बाई बैक. कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फार्मिंग तब से चल रहा है. एंड जो लोग फार्मिंग इन महाराष्ट्र वाज नॉट अ ग्रेट डील दैट टाइम. एंड देन these people are today driving the Scorpios. So there's a huge community difference that has happened. One thing I'll focus on research now. You know, it is very important. How many of you travel? Who like to travel? How many of you? And who has traveled to how many places? The maximum. इंडिया के अंदर कितने जगह गए?
Number of cities.
Number of places. ऐसे
10 cities.
10 to 12.
10.
Yeah. 15. I would say that, you know, if you have to become a very good researcher, ना, इंडिया भर घूमो. मैं 120 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में गया हूँ. 120. और 120 में मैं माइन में भी गया हूँ. मच्छी, बोलेरो कस्टमर जो है ना, मच्छी ट्रांसपोर्ट करता है, मट्टी ट्रांसपोर्ट करता है. You know, हमारा ट्रक कुछ और ट्रांसपोर्ट करता है. Then we have people who are buying our Scorpios and XUVs. They are of a different kind. You have to understand how to think. My research, my presentation will tell you on how to think. सोचते कैसे? The moment a researcher, you have been given a research job, all of you will get enough research jobs in the beginning of your life. Okay? So when I see something ना, मेरे सामने इंडिया दिखता है और इंडिया का पॉपुलेशन दिखता है, इंडिया के अंदर के लोगों का काम क्या है, what do they do for a living? Because I'm in finance ना, finance is the truest test कि what is the attitude towards money of a person. I know the cash flow of my customer. मुझे मालूम है कि ये मेरा कस्टमर है, इसके पास मैं जून में कभी नहीं जाऊंगा. क्यों? मैं कुछ नहीं बेच पाऊंगा उसको, क्योंकि प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड कि खेत को कभी जोतते हैं. जोतना इज प्लोइंग. या यू प्लो करता है, वो जमीन लेता है, उसके पास सीड्स लेता है, यूरिया लेता है, फर्टिलाइजर लेता है, और उसके बाद मई में वो हल जोतता है. कभी कभी वो ट्रैक्टर को भाड़े से लेता है या खुद का ट्रैक्टर, जो भी हो. ये होने के बाद जून मिड तक उसके पास पैसा नाम का चीज़ नहीं होता. जेब फटा रहता है. उस टाइम में कुछ भी बेचने जाऊँ ना, नहीं बिकेगा. उसको अगर ट्रैक्टर बेचना है तो पहले बेचना है, नहीं तो आपको वेट करना है कि, क्योंकि एक बार उसने वो सब कर दिया, उसके बाद वो लेबर यूज करता है सीड्स डालने के लिए. सी 70% ऑफ पीपल आर डूइंग दिस. उस पॉपुलेशन को समझो, 70% लोग ये करते हैं. ठीक है, अगर उसको आपने फॉरगेट किया तो फिर मतलब बाकी तो सब सिटी के लोग हैं. ओके, तो देन आफ्टर दैट ये सीड्स डालने के बाद वो लेबर का भी पैसा देता है. उसके बाद वो रुकता है, ऊपर देखता है. क्या देखता है? बारिश देखता है, क्योंकि इरिगेशन तो है नहीं. तो उसके बाद डिपेंड्स. क्रॉप के भी बहुत सारे पैटर्न्स हैं. आप पैडी ही मत सोचो क्रॉप को. क्रॉप में अलग अलग चीज़ें होती है. टोबैको इज ऑल्सो अ क्रॉप. आई डोंट नो, बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं. मतलब सोयाबीन 3 महीने में निकलता है, लेकिन सोयाबीन अक्रॉस इंडिया नहीं निकलता है. ठीक है, वैसे ही हर क्रॉप का एक पैटर्न होता है. उस पैटर्न के हिसाब से अपने को जाना है उसके पास. Now why am I telling you so many data points? You will hear a lot of data points, random data points, but these are all interconnected. And I'll tell you how to imagine. If you are a researcher, how to think. सोचना कैसे. क्यों ट्रैवल के बारे में पूछा? जब तक आपने लोगों को नहीं देखा है तब तक आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा. Most of us who are sitting here will not have anyone अपने social status के ऊपर या अपने social status के नीचे किसी को नहीं पहचानते. पहचानते हैं ना, आपने देखा होगा रिक्शा वाला है, बस वो भी सिटी के अंदर है। आप यू डोंट हैव एनीवन हु इज वेरी क्लोज टू यू, जिसका आपको कैश फ्लो मालूम है, जिसके आपको घर की परिस्थिति मालूम है, उसके पास कौन सा टाइप का घर है, उसके घर में कितने लोग हैं, उसके पास इनकम कितना आता है। ये जब तक आपको ये नहीं मालूम रहेगा, रिसर्च क्या करोगे? टिल दैट टाइम यू विल नॉट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज रिसर्च। रिसर्च समझने के लिए लोगों को समझना जरूरी है। जब तक आप ट्रैवल नहीं किया होगा, क्योंकि आप लोग सब सिटी में बड़े, यही सब कॉलेज में स्कूल में गए, कभी तो भी टीवी में देख लिया ये गरीब लोग होता है, बस इतना ही है ना। I mean, I have heard people. I was telling to one person during lunch time, आपने कलिंगड़ का पेड़ देखा है? तो वो लड़की देख रही, हाँ देखा है। मैंने कलिंगड़ का पेड़ नहीं होता। भिंडी कैसे उगती है? भिंडी कैसे उगती है? ऐसे उगती है कि ऐसे उगती है? नहीं, भिंडी ऐसे होती है, मिर्ची ऐसे होती है। See, understand what I'm trying to say is that हम जो खाते हैं, पहनते हैं, उसके बारे में हमको कुछ समझ नहीं आता। कोई माल अपने पास आता कितने मुश्किल से आता है। How much difficult is it to make a thing which is manufactured in one part of India to get transported to your part? Transportation is the most complex thing that we have. Anyways, ये सब तो background था। अभी I'll just begin with the small presentation. Next slide. You can read this. कौन है ये? कौन है पता है? डेमिंग प्राइस फॉर क्वालिटी, गोल्डन पीकॉक अवार्ड और गोल्ड जो है ना, तो महिंद्रा ट्रैक्टर बिजनेस हैज दिस। ओके, एंड जबरदस्त आदमी, पढ़ो इसके बारे में क्या लिखा है इसने। See, everything that he said, the main difference between service and manufacturing is the service department does not know that they have a product. See, there is a dilemma, na? Is service a product? Is product a service? We do not know. There are so many examples. All of your mind must be racing. ऐसा होता है हमारे साथ। ये है कि वो है। Second is the customer invents nothing. New products and services come from the producer. Research का core है ये। हम नया प्रोडक्ट देते हैं कि कस्टमर मांगता है अपने से नया प्रोडक्ट। कस्टमर ने आपसे एआई मांगा, कस्टमर ने आपसे 10 मिनट मांगा, 10 मिनट का डिलीवरी। किसने मांगा आपसे? Why are new businesses created? How does new business get created? Yeah, so you have to think on this. Nobody should try to use data unless he has collected data. Secondary information, third hand information है ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों के पास। कभी मैंने खेत देखा नहीं, कभी मैंने जमीन जोती नहीं, किसी ने तो बोला कि ऐसा होता है और टीवी में दिखाया है। सेकेंड हैंड इंफॉर्मेशन, थर्ड हैंड इंफॉर्मेशन। और मेनी पीपल एज रिसर्चर्स ना, जैसे आपको मिलेगा ना, आप क्योंकि वंस अपॉन अ टाइम ना हमको जब भी रिसर्च करना होता था ना, अभी उतना गूगल में नहीं होता था, आरओसी में जाना पड़ता था। यू नो आरओसी, रजिस्टर ऑफ कंपनीज, चर्चगेट में, तो जाके फिर डेटा लेना पड़ता था। बहुत सारी चीज़ में जाके इंफॉर्मेशन लेना पड़ता। आज आप फिंगर पे देखते हो, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे इंटरनेट पे था ही नहीं उतना इंफॉर्मेशन। तो यू नो सेकेंड हैंड, इफ यू कैन have some experience of getting the first hand data, that's when your researcher instinct will be very strong. 3% of problems have figures, 97% problems do not have figures. It is very important. What is it that you get as data? You get trends, you get behavior, you get attitudes. This is gold mine for a researcher. This is gold mine. Next, I have given 2 slides on this. क्या लिखा है? सबसे पहले क्या लिखा है? Any manager? कोई भी कर सकता है यार। अच्छा चला बहती गंगा में कोई भी। You will never identify. जब भी शॉर्टेज होता है ना, जब भी शॉर्टेज होगा ना, तभी हम सबको समझ में आएगा कि किधर कौन है efficient. ठीक है? And any two people can have different ideas of what is important. You feel something is important, she feels something else is important. How do you know which is important? That is where research comes. That is where you understand कि ये इसके basis पे मैं कह रहा हूँ या कह रही हूँ. That is why this is better than that. Quality लिखा है ना, stamp out fires, automate, computerize, AI डालो, वो करो, ये करो, अच्छे लोगों को लेकर आओ, zero defect, first time right. Wrong. Missing ingredient is knowledge. Which knowledge? Profound knowledge. Deep knowledge. Deep knowledge comes from where? कहाँ से आता है deep knowledge? Experience. जूता घिसने से जूते किसने से आता है deep knowledge. That's when I say that, you know, when we were trying to build a market for the yacht business in India, yachts. So 50 लाख का प्रोडक्ट है, 2010 में 50 लाख में बेच रहा हूँ, कहाँ से मार्केट आएगा? ट्राई किया, बहुत सारा मॉडल बिक ही नहीं रहा है. फिर हमने एक कस्टमर था संजय मांजरेकर, उसको बेचा. उसके बाद हाँ उसको बेचा था. उसके बाद हमने ट्राई किया कि ना हम लोग ना शेयर्ड वो करते हैं. क्या करते हैं, एक बोट है ना 4 लोगों को टाइम शेयर करते हैं. टाइम शेयर करके बड़ा आइडिया था, क्योंकि क्लब महिंद्रा पूरा टाइम शेयर का बिजनेस है. टाइम शेयर पे मैंने 4 लोगों को लेकर आया, उसको चिपकाया मैंने. बाप रे, उसको मैनेज करना इतना डिफिकल्ट था. एवरीबॉडी वांटेड एट द सेम टाइम. सेम क्लब महिंद्रा का सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम क्या था, सेम टाइम पे वही मतलब दिसंबर में या ऑल द सीजन्स, उसी के पहले 3 दिन पहले बुक करना है. तो कहाँ से मिलने वाला आपको, नहीं मिलेगा. तो यू नो, सो यू गेन एक्सपीरियंस थ्रू दिस काइंड ऑफ हिट्स. बहुत हिट्स मिलता है, रॉन्ग इतना चला जाता है. आई टेल यू, वी हैड अ प्रोडक्ट, वी हैड गॉट इनटू अ 2-व्हीलर बिजनेस. तो काइनेटिक करके एक गाड़ी थी, काइनेटिक होंडा, पीतमपुर में उसका एसेट था. किसी ने वो एसेट चिपका दिया और हमने गाड़ी निकाली, सेंटूरो करके गाड़ी निकाली, 2-व्हीलर. एंड सी व्हाट आई एम कोटिंग है, बाहर मत जाना, क्योंकि आई एम नॉट सपोज टू टेल यू कंपनी दिस थिंग्स. बट यू नो, वी आमिर खान को हमने उस टाइम पे 7 करोड़ रुपया दिया फॉर अ 15 सेकेंड एडवर्टाइजमेंट. आई टेल यू व्हाई. प्रीमाइस ये था कि आमिर खान को लेके आया, 2-व्हीलर है तो चल जाएगा, मतलब चलेगा. लेकिन गाड़ी चली नहीं. क्यों? सी द प्रॉमिस, see all businesses are built on certain assumption. assumption के ऊपर ही आप भी बिजनेस करते हो. everybody does some assumption. इधर दुकान नहीं, इसका दुकान चल जाएगा, ऐसा करते. तो everybody did that. We also had a guy who was you know, the head of the 2-wheeler business was from Unilever. Unilever वाले को नहीं होगा वो, it's an engineering product. They used to call it FMCD. तो I will touch upon a subject called what assumptions हम हमारे दिमाग में बनाते कि ये है तो ये इसके लिए ये चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं होता है. तो वो बिजनेस का जो वो था ना, लुकिंग था ना, जो वे वी वर लुकिंग एट बिजनेस वाज कि ये FMCD बिजनेस है, इसके लिए इसको इसी तरीके से मार्केट करना है. ठीक है. क्लब महिंद्रा यूज्ड टू हैव, आई डोंट नो इफ यू रिमेंबर, सम ऑफ यू विल रिमेंबर कि हर पेट्रोल पंप में और मॉल में ना आपको आके टैप करते थे, मैडम ये फॉर्म भरो, आपको वो शाम को गिफ्ट मिलेगा. यू नो, I don't want to tell you the amount, but we used to spend an obscene amount of money across India's malls and petrol pumps. एक आदमी को खड़ा रख के just to get the data. You know why we used to do that? We used to do that thinking that जिसके भी पास कार है, they can afford a Club Mahindra membership. Over a period of time, things changed, क्योंकि used car भी आता है, financing सस्ता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है. But not necessarily कि ये जो premise है इसके basis पे you have an interest to buy a Club Mahindra resort holidays. Okay, I will touch on this subject also. Anyways, last one is information is not knowledge. Let us not confuse the two. Don't confuse information or data with knowledge. Knowledge does not come just like that. Knowledge comes from, you have to walk through it. Otherwise नहीं आता है. Next. मैं एक अच्छा story बताता हूँ. मजेदार स्टोरी है. लाकूड तोड़ने वाला है. ठीक है. तो दिस इज स्टोरी ऑफ अ वुड कटर. अपन बोलते हैं उसको अब्बा और डब्बा. ठीक है. उसको एक सॉमिल में, दोनों को काम नहीं रहते, दोनों के पास पहले रहते, काम नहीं रहता, बोलता हमको काम चाहिए. तो सॉमिल देखा आपने? तो सॉमिल में जाता है, बोलता है साहब मेरे को काम चाहिए. वो देखता है, बोलता है ठीक है, ये जो लकड़ा दिख रहा है आपको, ये लकड़ा है, जाके लकड़ा काट के लाओ. तो बोलता है ये तो आप डब्बा को, दोनों को एक्स दे देता है, ले जाओ काट के लेके. डब्बा करके जो बंदा है, सेकंड बंदा, ही गोस जाता है. अब्बा उधर रुकता है. नेक्स्ट मिनट अब्बा रुक के क्या पूछता है पता है? बोलते साहब कौन सा लकड़ा है ये कौन सा लकड़ा है, ये किधर मिलता है, कैसे दिखता है ये सर, एक टुकड़ा मैं तोड़ लूँ आपके यहाँ से? वो तोड़ता है, देखता है. ठीक है. वो क्या बोलता है मेरे को, वो he says that the mill owner demanded, the man desperate man agreed. The axe बोलता है 50 बंडल चाहिए एक हफ्ते में. कितना चाहिए? 50 बंडल चाहिए एक हफ्ते में, ठीक है। डब्बा को मालूम पड़ा, डब्बा चला गया, अब्बा रुकता है, वो क्या बोलता है, ये सब पूछने के बोलता है सर मेरे को ना आप ये दो, रस्सी दो, रस्सी, ठीक है, थोड़ा रस्सी दो। स्मेल किया उसको, इसको लकड़े को स्मेल किया, हाँ साहब ये पेड़ दिखता कैसे, दिखने में कैसे दिखता है पता नहीं मुझे, ठीक है, क्योंकि लकड़ा कभी काट के एक्सपीरियंस नहीं था ज़्यादा ना, फ्रेश रिसर्चर है, कॉलेज से निकला था, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट नेक्स्ट, ठीक है। डब्बा क्या करता है, जो जहाँ जाता है पहला लकड़ा देखता है, खाना दन चालू कर देता है, क्या मार ले। अब्बा क्या करता है पता है, वो ना चलता है पूरा जंगल में, चलता है ढूंढता है ढूंढता है, मिलता नहीं है, फिर एक जगह जाके उसको दिखता है, हाँ ये है, तो ये देख, उसने देखा हाँ यही है, ये सही है, ये सही है, लेकिन वो देखता है कि उसको ना गर्थ नहीं है, it doesn't have the required, it's a small, so वो बोलता ठीक है जाने दो। नेक्स्ट थोड़ा और जाता है, ऐसे दिन चले जाते हैं, फिर वो देखता है कि और एक है जिसका उतना मोटा भी है, सेम क्वालिटी है, और नाउ ही सेज दैट ओके दिस इज परफेक्ट। फिर वो ऐसा देखता है तो क्या अगर ये गिरेगा ना 10 और पेड़ गिरेंगे, तो बोलता है ये भी नहीं करते, उसका दिन जा रहा है, डब्बा क्या कर रहा है, then he comes, फिर और जाता है आगे, उसके बाद उसको एक पेड़ सिमिलर दिखता है, फिर वो देखता है इसके गिराने से सिर्फ 2 पेड़ गिरेंगे, उधर गए 10 नहीं गिरेंगे, बोलता अच्छा ये अच्छा है। फिर वो क्या करता है, फिर वो जो इधर के जो पेड़ है उसको साफ कर देता है काट के, फिर वो चढ़ता है, फिर वो सब वो छाटता है वो ब्रांचेस को, देन व्हाट ही डज, नेक्स्ट में जाता है और वो बोलता है ठीक है अभी ना मेरा रेडी है, रस्सी वस्सी लगा के टाइट कर देता है, उधर जाके गांव में नीचे जाता है और बोलता है 2-4 आदमी मेरे पास आ जाओ, आई वांट टू हेल्प, थोड़ा हेल्प चाहिए मुझे। देन द 5th-6th डे वो क्या करता है, 5th और 6th डे ये क्या कर रहा है, परफेक्ट शार्पन करता है, पूरा दिन बैठ के शार्पन करता है, और लास्ट डे में जाके वो इंसिशन मारता है, क्या करता है इंसिशन। नेक्स्ट में जाओ, पहले जाओ, वो इंसिशन मारता है, व्हाट इज इंसिशन, वी मारता है, पेड़ को पूरा काटने की जरूरत नहीं थी, पेड़ को क्या करना होता है, वी टेक्निक, व्हाट टू डू व्हेन मैक्सिमम रिटर्न फ्रॉम मिनिमम एफर्ट कम्स थ्रू नॉलेज, ओके। वी करता है, बाकी लोग बोलते हैं खींच लो, खींचता है पेड़, गिर जाता है, और वो काट के चॉप करके, सर 7 दिन, 6वां दिन, 6.5वां दिन देखो लकड़ा आपके हिसाब से। डब्बा ने भी काटा, डब्बा ने काटा तो क्या हुआ, वो बोलता भाई ये वो पेड़ नहीं है, ये उसके जैसा दिखता है लेकिन वो है नहीं। क्यों नहीं है, क्योंकि उसमें सबसे ज़्यादा टर्माइट इन्फेस्ट होता है, इट गेट termite infested fast, it is never used for cutting trees, furniture. What did you learn from this? Interesting. ये हम लोग सब जगह every aspect of our life, सोसाइटी हो, ऑफिस हो, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव काम हो, एवरीवेयर वी ये ना नॉलेज के बिना लोग काम करते हैं, बिना पूछे काम करते हैं, अपने हिसाब से काम करते हैं, कोई ट्रेनिंग नहीं, रैंडमली काम कर रहे हैं। ये you will face this across your life, आज भी देखोगे आप, this happens with everyone, it happens in every company, it happens, okay. So the aim is that what differentiated this man from the other is that he took time to understand what is the requirement, ठीक है, सवाल पूछे, जवाब मिला, उसके बाद प्लान किया कि मुझे क्या करना है, टाइम का एस्टिमेट, टाइम एंड बजट, एफर्ट बजट कितना है उसका एस्टिमेशन हुआ, उसके बाद लास्ट में ही कॉल्ड आउट फॉर हेल्प, मुझे थोड़ा हेल्प चाहिए, बाकी हो जाएगा। दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू डू रिसर्च, एनीवन हू डज रिसर्च हैज टू डू हैव दीज एबिलिटीज टू डू दिस, नहीं तो ऐसा तो रैंडम तो कोई भी काट सकता है ना, आपने बोला मैंने किया, लेकिन मुझे जैसा चाहिए था ऐसा नहीं मिला ना। एनीवेज, सो दिस इज द पॉइंट दैट आई वाज ट्राइंग टू, एंड आई कोट दिस वेरी वेरी ऑफन बिकॉज यही होते रहता है जिंदगी में, रिपीटेडली सब जगह ऐसे ही होते रहता है। एनीवेज, नाउ आई विल स्विच टू नेक्स्ट समथिंग व्हिच इज लिटिल मोर इंटरेस्टिंग। ये रिसर्च, इसका मतलब क्या है, डेटा, इंफॉर्मेशन, नॉलेज, इसमें डिफरेंस क्या है? बहुत इंटरचेंजेबली यूज करते हैं ना. सी डेटा, एवरीबडी नोस व्हाट इज डेटा, ठीक है. देन व्हाट इज इंफॉर्मेशन, उसको स्टैक करके रखा, उसको ऑर्डरली वे में रखा. दिस इज ऑल इंफॉर्मेशन दैट हैज बीन stacked, and lot of tools for you to. I'm not going to tell you about AI and other tools and all. Tools are enough in the market. This is how you stack up information. This is how you get your information. And knowledge is उसको फिर use करते हैं. We use the knowledge for what? It's based on interpretation, experience, judgment. All these factors come together, right? That's when you use. That is knowledge. Are you able to connect the dots? अगर ये हुआ है तो ये हो सकता है. तो मैं जैसे देखता हूँ कि मेरे को आबादी दिखती है, लाइवलीहुड्स दिखता है, एबिलिटीज दिखती है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर दिखता है, डेमोग्राफिक्स दिखता है. दिस यू नो व्हाट आर द बिहेवियर्स, व्हाट आर द एटीट्यूड्स. दिस इज यू नीड टू जक्सटापोज दिस अलॉन्ग विद द नॉलेज, तभी जाके आप उसमें से इंफॉर्मेशन का कुछ वैल्यू कर सकते हैं. अदरवाइज बीइंग रिसर्च इन इटसेल्फ, दिस इज द फंडामेंटल ऑफ रिसर्च. दिस इज द फंडामेंटल ऑफ रिसर्च एंड वी यूज इट एवरी टाइम दैट वी डू एनालिसिस. हमारा कस्टमर कौन से महीने में कैसा रहता है, हम ट्रैक्टर कस्टमर से हम जो सी इन द लेंडिंग बिजनेस, यू विल एग्री, इट इज द ओनली बिजनेस वेयर यू टेक बैक व्हाट यू सोल्ड, राइट. तो ट्रैक्टर में हम हर महीने का EMI नहीं डेबिट करते. हम कभी EMI डेबिट करते पता है? 2 बार, जब भी फसल कटता है. वी हैड अ ह्यूज प्रॉब्लम इन ट्रैक्टर का और बोलेरो का जो रिसीवेबल्स होता है ना, हमको कॉइन में मिलता था. ब्रांच में 50 किलो कॉइन होता था. इतना कॉइन हमको गिनना पड़ता था. कितना टाइम जाएगा? दिस यूज्ड टू बी अ प्रॉब्लम. एंड हाउ वी आर सॉर्टिंग दिस आउट ओवर, इट्स अ वेरी गुड, बिकॉज सी वी डील विद भारत. 70% जो पॉपुलेशन उसके साथ डील करते हैं, तो उसके हिसाब से हमारा सोच डेवलप हुआ है, ठीक है. एनीवे, सो यू नो, सो AI ये सब जो है ना, ये AI नहीं कर सकता. ये जो है ना, ये पैटर्न है, how to be interpreted, AI can never do it for you. You need to use, up to this point you can use anything that is called AI, okay, or ML or whatever. What to do with it, how can you do it, the prognosis of it is human. It's all human. It's the researcher's thinking ability. Next, this is very interesting. Vikram, we had a talk. You know why research? क्यों करते research? Why do we do research? कुछ तो बोलो. बहुत सारी चीज पता नहीं है. This, so what this is, every research में ना, see, thinking needs to be taught. Thinking needs to be taught. How to think needs to be taught. So we use something called as frameworks, thinking frameworks. Thinking frameworks, this is a very old and often used framework, the known unknown matrix. So first is, I do not know that I do not know. बराबर ना, ऐसा होता है ना, बहुत सारी चीजें. Ask yourself, how many things you do not know that you do not know. Then you want to know, right side में जाओ. You know there is something, but you do not know what it is. Think about it. You know there is something, but क्या है नहीं मालूम. Then you come to unknown knowns. I know, मुझे ये पता ही नहीं कि है करके पता है, मतलब we are not somewhere in the subconscious mind it is there, but we do not know that we know it. And the known knowns. What are the known knowns? Where do companies spend a lot of their effort in validating what is already known? Most companies undertake research not because they do not know, because some third party said that this, McKinsey said or EY said that this is how it is. So now ये pass कर दूंगा मैं board meeting में. Is it not a political tool? I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It is a tool for validating. You know, most firms and government agencies, government को भी पता होता है क्या करना होता है. McKinsey ने BMC को 50 करोड़ का plan दिया है. I don't know if you know. BMC को पता नहीं है क्या कि करना क्या है. But it is validation. Validation by if अपने बच्चों को अगर किसी बाहर वालों ने बोला कि ऐसा ऐसा करते हैं तो उसको बहुत वैल्यू होता है. मैंने बोला तो उसको वैल्यू नहीं है. सेम. बाकी what is it used for? Research is often used to identify. Research is generally used to identify opportunities है कि नहीं, किधर है opportunities, कौन से market, कौन सा product segment, कौन सी competition, what is competition doing, how are they doing it, which kind of process do they use, technology, all of this. This is where research is used. But this is all known things, and then you get something out of it. Research is there. Come to next slide. Okay, मैंने आपको क्या बोला पता है? What is this? You see this? The power of premise, the power of assumption. Club Mahindra thought जिसके भी पास कार है वो खरीद सकता है हमारा क्लब महिंद्रा मेंबरशिप। ऐसे बहुत सारे बिजनेसेस को खड़ा किया है लोगों ने, थिंकिंग दैट इफ दिस इज इट देन दैट इज है। बहुत many businesses have failed also because of this wrong premise. Now I'll tell you what are these two men doing. The left guy, see there is some business which is a customer need. Customer need से ही तो business आता है ना, नीड नहीं है तो बिजनेस ही नहीं है। तो कस्टमर नीड जो लेफ्ट में आप देख रहे हो ना, ओके, इसके अंदर कुछ प्लेयर्स डोमिनेंट है, वेरी स्ट्रांग प्लेयर, मार्केट लीडर 1, मार्केट लीडर 2। व्हाट यू सी, ये जो नीचे है ना, ऑल्सो रैन प्लेयर, कि मैंने भी किया थोड़ा बहुत, उसमें मुझे भी बिजनेस का शेयर मिला है। एक ऊपर एक बंदा है, देखो उसका नाम क्या है, इकोसिस्टम डिसरप्टर। ही इज थिंकिंग हाउ डू आई चेंज ऑल दिस, okay, he is thinking how do I change all this. Over a period of time what happens, यो young man जब भी बुड्ढा बन जाता है ना, क्या चेंज हुआ, मार्केट लीडर 1 एंड मार्केट लीडर 1 शायद रह गया, शायद they may have swapped positions, otherwise one of the market leader goes away. Okay, टेलीकॉम में होते हुए देखा होगा आपने। then emerging player comes, उसके पास कुछ strong है, कुछ core value proposition है। What is a value proposition? कस्टमर के नीड को समझ के अगर आपने कुछ दिया है, वो स्ट्रॉन्ग वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन है। ऐसे ही कुछ नहीं देना, यू नो। देन इकोसिस्टम डिसरप्टर, कितनी बार वी हैव सीन somebody suddenly came and took away the market. Which is the example, which is the best suited example? जियो। और कौन सा है? अभी ये अपने सामने ब्लिंकिट जो अपन बात कर रहे थे, यू नो, आई मीन वो क्या था, बिग बास्केट, एंड देन गोदरेज बिग बास्केट, और भी जो भी था, ब्लिंकिट, और इसने अमेजोन, यू सेड अमेजोन इज गॉन। हाँ, स्विगी, इंस्टामेंट, so many, I mean this is all the delivery things, but there are so many instances of somebody suddenly comes up and कहाँ से मार्केट लेकर गया, we will never know. तो what, so you are, please understand that why the power of premise and assumption का बहुत ये होता है। business assumptions are our ideas of what is value to people। मुझे ऐसा लगता है ये वैल्यू है, बट मार्केट रियलिटी और मेरे अजम्पशन में कॉन्ग्रुएंस होना चाहिए। देयर हैज टू बी अ कॉन्ग्रुएंस ऑफ दिस टू सम एक्सटेंट। एवरीथिंग विल नॉट बी परफेक्टली लाइक दिस, इट विल बी लाइक दिस, इट विल बी लाइक दिस, बट इट शुड नॉट बी लाइक दिस, और इवन दिस इज नॉट यूजफुल। इट शुड बी समवेयर क्लोज बाय, देयर हैज टू बी सम ओवरलैप, अदरवाइज इट इज, यू आर गोइंग टू बाउंड टू फेल इन दिस बिजनेस। सो इनफ बिजनेसेस, shops, local shops have all discontinued because of this lack of research and based on flawed business assumption. Don't make flawed business assumption, it fails. We have had enough businesses which have failed. We had a business called Mom and Me, I don't know if you know. Yeah, Mom and Me, -9 +9. I used to interview people, women, pregnant women, and I saw that Delhi में बहुत सारी जगह पे हमारा जो ये है ना, वो फर्स्ट फ्लोर में या मॉल में था। प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन कैनॉट गो टू क्लाइंब ऑल्सो। तो रियल एस्टेट स्ट्रैटेजी ही में ही प्रॉब्लम था, ये क्यों नहीं समझ में आया इनको। यू हैव टू, जहाँ हाई स्ट्रीट में चल के जाने का होना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं कितने सारे सीढ़ी चढ़ के जाए। अंडरस्टूड? सो देयर आर मेनी, आई कैन साइट सो मेनी एग्जांपल्स ऑफ बिजनेस व्हिच हैज बीन बेस्ड ऑन फ्लॉड assumptions की ऐसा होगा। दैट इज योर इंटरप्रिटेशन, गेट इट वैलिडेटेड बाय रिसर्च। ओके, या नेक्स्ट। So, what are the factors that drive companies, institutions for research? What are the things that matter to them? So, they want to know what is the impact of government policies, social narratives. I did not say social media. I said social narratives. You know how different it is from social media. There is the word is very different connotation. Social narratives is overall attitude towards certain concepts. delivery fast. There is a today there is a conflict between two generations. एक ही घर के अंदर parents बोलते हैं why do you need, you go and buy no from DMart, and you say that I want it from what is online. So social narrative क्या है? One segment is saying do buy it this way. This segment says buy it that way. Which is right? So you should know what is the social narrative. Social media is the tool. Don't confuse between tool and the narrative. Okay? Now, and then market insights, shareholder requirement, political landscape. अभी political landscape क्यों मालूम है? अभी वो योजना है ना, क्या बहन है? लाड़की बहन योजना. लाड़की बहन योजना और उसके जैसे योजना से क्या क्या इम्पैक्ट पड़ा मालूम है? नीचे लेबर नहीं मिलता है. लेबर नहीं मिलता है. आप किधर भी कौन से भी मार्केट में जाओ, ठीक है? तो जब भी ऐसे टाइप का स्कीम आता है ना, इट डिसरप्ट्स. फिर देन यू हैव टू थिंक कि यार अभी हम क्या करें, ठीक है? बिकॉज यू आर सपोज आप आई डोंट नो इफ यू आर इन लॉजिस्टिक्स, ड्राइवर बोलता है मुझे नहीं आने का है. ड्राइवर का शॉर्टेज है, इसलिए हर गाड़ी के पीछे ड्राइवर्स वांटेड लिखा रहता है. when you interview all the truck drivers, mostly they say that sir, और सबका एज देखो ना, they are all 40 plus. एक भी यंग आदमी ड्राइवर ही नहीं करता आज, ठीक है? सोशल स्टिग्मा है उसमें. And why they don't want to? Because सबको आई साइड प्रॉब्लम है, सबको कुछ ना कुछ प्रॉब्लम है. Anyways, the point I am saying is that how political landscape, government schemes impact business decision making, regulations, VUCA world जो बोला है वो तो है ही. Education standards. When you make education as a common minimum जो होता है वो मिलता है, तो education की वजह से change होता है बहुत सारी चीज़ें. Consumption patterns change हो रहे हैं. Seasons and weather. Who else than us to tell you that season and weather impacts buying? Yeah. Innovation or the lack of it. Demographics. Very important. If you are a researcher, demography सबसे ऊपर होना चाहिए. आप कितने बच्चे हैं, कितने एज ग्रुप में हैं, कितना ये है, किसको कितना इनकम है, रहते किधर है, सब कुछ आपके आंख के सामने डांस करना चाहिए, ठीक है? एम्प्लॉयमेंट, लाइवलीहुड्स, इनकम. एम्प्लॉयमेंट का मतलब है इनकम, किसके पास कितनी आमदनी है. यू शुड नो हाउ मच इज दिस सेगमेंट, इज दिस योर मार्केट, इज दैट योर मार्केट, विच इज योर मार्केट, हाउ विल यू नो? You should know this. If you are a researcher, you should know the income. इसलिए middle class का definition, lower middle class का definition, middle class का definition, SEC, A segment, SEC, B segment, all of them. Where are these people? Where do they lie? How do they consume? How do they travel? Oh, you should know all of this. And then digital presence, customer touch points. Does your business have as many touch points? I mean, are you very close to your business? Branch क्यों डालते हैं? इतना सारा digital है तो branch क्यों चाहिए आपको? बताओ. Digital है ना? Have you gone to a bank branch? Yeah. How many times do you go? Hardly you go. फिर भी branch क्यों रखते हैं? Costly है ना branch. सोचो. I mean, मॉल के अंदर जो दुकानें खाली रहती हैं, फिर भी you keep it. Why? Why do you keep it? Physical presence, because the touch points is required. You have to see what is seen is what is sold. Yeah. टेक्नोलॉजी, मैंने टेक्नोलॉजी को कभी भी उतना ये नहीं दिया. टेक्नोलॉजी होगा, इट्स अ टूल, इट्स अ कैलकुलेटर, इट्स अ बेटर कैलकुलेटर. एवरीथिंग इज अबाउट बिहेवियर, एटीट्यूड्स, थिंकिंग. रेस्ट एवरीथिंग इज अ टूल. ओके. एंड देन बिजनेस पार्टनर्स. डू यू हैव रियली गुड बिजनेस? आज अकेला कोई धंधा नहीं कर सकते आप. यू नीड पार्टनर. यू नीड टू बी पार्ट ऑफ सम इकोसिस्टम. अगर इकोसिस्टम का पार्ट नहीं है, आप धंधा नहीं कर सकते, आप धंधे से बाहर हो जाओगे, ठीक है? नेक्स्ट, स्ट्रैटेजिक प्लानिंग. मैंने कुछ थिंग्स ऐसे ही लिख के रखे हैं, मुझे लगता है कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. आई विल कम. व्हाई स्ट्रैटेजिक प्लानिंग? बिकॉज नो रिसर्च इज अ पार्ट ऑफ स्ट्रैटेजिक प्लानिंग. वो स्ट्रैटेजी किसके लिए बना रहे हो? रिसर्च की बेसिस पे बना रहे हो ना. तो रिसर्च में सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम क्या है पता है? एस्टैब्लिशिंग द प्रोसेस, स्टेप्स एंड स्ट्रैटेजी. रिव्यू लास्ट ईयर का कैसा था, हाउ डिड वी डू इट लास्ट ईयर. एक्सटर्नल एनवायरनमेंट को स्कैन करो, हो क्या रहा है मार्केट में. डायग्नोस इंटरनल कॉम्पिटेंसीज. स्वॉट किया. How many of it what of the SWOT element is external and which is the internal? Excellent. So this is what we do here, then develop corporate strategy and how do you set target, what do you want to be, how much do you want to be, by when, what do you want to, सब ये अपने business में लगता है. And that based on market scan, आप market scan again comes market, business, ये सब words को देखो ना. Diagnose, review, ये सब words क्या है? What do these words indicate? These are taglines. It indicates that there is a research element inbuilt into all these words. Okay, tested for alignment. I have marked it in yellow. ठीक है? All of this budgeting ये सब. Communication of whatever you have thought to everybody else in your business is so very important. Otherwise कोई अगर आपने communicate नहीं किया, businesses fail. Okay, next. बहुत सारे drawbacks हैं. I'll finish it up. So, calendar-based planning, many things are there. I will take it maybe at a session next time. Next.
Surely we follow that.
Next. ये सब छोड़ो, ये भी छोड़ो. बस last try. ठीक है? Business assumptions are beliefs. Again, I'm telling you. What do you assume? What is your belief? आप सोचते क्या हो? Everything is from thinking. Everything comes from thinking. आप सोचते क्या उसके ऊपर है. Organization की priorities वैसी बनती है, organization के practices ऐसे बनते हैं. इसके अंदर what influences is market changes, consumer preferences, regulatory compliances, technological advancements, all of this, and data, information, trends, ये सब lag indicator. You know what lag and lead is? ये हो गया है, लेकिन future क्या है? Future के लिए आपको क्या चाहिए? उसको prognosis चाहिए. That is when all of these experiences come into picture, and research help you understand from data, market insights, AI tool, tech, communication, and everything else. And the last slide is, what is it? Read aloud. मानते हो? Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nair. From going from logo ko samjho to research samjhega, to emphasizing on experiencing to ensure valuable research, to the story of the woodcutter, emphasizing again the clarity of requirement, result orientation and operation plan in research, and to the power of assumptions. Thank you so much for these valuable insights. As each of our esteemed dignitaries have delivered their inaugural address, I am confident that our minds are now abuzz with thought-provoking questions inspired by the insightful perspectives shared. The floor is open for a Q&A.
Do we want to
You want me to do that first? With a slight change, we will first introduce and felicitate our award sponsors and then open the floor for Q&A. We come to the part of our event where we would like to acknowledge the generous support behind our awards. We are honored to have Mr. Subramaniam Neelkandan, Founder Director at ImpactSure Technologies Private Limited, as our first award sponsor for this conference. ImpactSure is a Web 3.0 SaaS company that leverages AI and ML for intelligent document processing and analytics, primarily serving enterprises and BFSIs. Its core platform facilitates modular solutions for extracting, processing, and automating document workflows, transforming complex data-intensive tasks into streamlined processes. Their award-winning products are designed for easy implementation across various industries, enhancing operational efficiency and compliance while maximizing ROI on existing technology investments. I would now request Dr. Hira Kumar ma'am to felicitate Mr. Subramaniam Neelkandan sir and request sir to share a few words post that. Please join me in welcoming him with a round of applause. So we request you to say a few words.
Good morning all. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. Thanks a lot for helping us as well as enabling us to reach to many people. And thanks for the introduction. Like I was hearing our introduction to our product, like you're doing very nice, and I think we can pick it up from this for our marketing things as well. Thanks a lot for that. And it's a wonderful speech. I was really impressed with the speakers and the topics that has been discussed out, and happy that I have been like involved in such activities, and I have been helping in a way or other, helping in some form or the other, like especially around this research and the upcoming things. Okay, so as people mentioned, the AI, ML, all these are tool. It's evolving. Okay, today AI, tomorrow maybe BICIDI, something keeps evolving. It keeps coming up. Okay, but how do we use it, and how do we use it for our purpose, and how do we leverage ourselves, and how do we improve to our next level? Okay, that we have to work upon. And as rightly mentioned, it is actually our hard work. How do we use those technology matters a lot. Okay, technology can be good, can be bad. Okay, like it can replace people, and all the technologies will be replacing the bottom level layer. Okay, it also has another level, another opportunity. For example, AI is replacing, but also we need people to create AI. Okay, so very simple, like when the cars came in, okay, bullock carts were being out, but there was a need for the drivers as well. Okay, so the skill sets is changing, so you have to upgrade. If you are at the bottom layer, if you are using the technology, it is very high chance that you will get replaced. Okay, if you are in the part of exploring or inventing or contributing towards the creation of the technology, then you will never be replaced. Okay, so start from here. It's good if, like in your initial career, you will be able to get spot or get your opportunity to use the technology, but eventually you have to have the ambition of moving out into the zone of creating those technology. Okay, creation of OpenAI, creation of DeepSeek, which is now currently the buzzword in the market. Okay, so the technology has gone so big, like now previously Google and Azure were competing with each others. Okay, but now America and China are competing. Okay, DeepSeek has made America the market crash. Okay, it is not competing with OpenAI. It is China and US is actually competing, and that's a very important reason why they gave it as open source. Otherwise, they would have minted money with that invention. Okay, that is how the things are moving on. So the technology will be part of it, but again we have to move into the layer of inventing it. Probably like now even the government has come up with the plans of supporting us, how we can be part of the creation of this AI. We want our own AI. Okay, we cannot still be relying on US, Silicon Valley or China or other countries. We have to form. So government is also pushing, and you guys also have to have to put in your efforts in moving into that segment of creations. Okay, and then for that the research and understanding the data. Okay, very important. That definitely AI cannot do. AI can give you exhibit, it can showcase, it can give the trends, it can display the varieties or the importance of the data, but the interpretation is completely with you guys. So please be aware, and please don't get bogged up with the technology. It will keep evolving. Don't get worried that AI is going to replace human. It will replace, but it will replace only that bottom layer. There is another door is getting opened of creation of those tools, creation or using the tool and coming up with more technological advance or more business advance, much more things that can be driven out of those things. So please focus on that and utilize this opportunity and definitely get the best benefit out of this. Thank you a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your words of encouragement. We're also honored to have Ms. Piali Kundu, Vice President Academic Alliance, Board Infinity, our second Esteem Award sponsor. Board Infinity is a career tech platform and a transformative educational entity dedicated to shaping the futures of students across India and Asia. At As an outcome-based platform, they connect career aspirants with over 2,000 plus top industry experts to ensure focused learning that enhances employability. Through their personalized approach, they offer tailored career tracks addressing every aspect of career journey from career awareness, discovery, and planning to upskilling. I now request Dr. Deepa Dikshit ma'am and Dr. Ira Kumar ma'am to felicitate Ms. Payati. I request Ms. Kundu to share her insights on the theme Bridging Academia and Industry, Strategic Approaches to Enhance Student Employability. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to present Board Infinity. It's really been a journey for us over the last 8 years, and I would love to share that journey with all of you all today. Yeah, no worries. Okay, it's been a very interesting journey for the last 8 years, and we have tried to be part of the ecosystem where we are trying to bridging the academia and the industry with strategic approaches to enhance students' employability. And I will tell you why, all right? Yeah, I think this is a, yeah, okay. Yeah, great, great. Here we are going to get to the root, the base that we form, right? Which will take our life over a period of, say, 30, 40, 50 years. So today I ask all of y'all, okay, what do you mean? What do you mean by career? Can anybody just, in one word, a line, say what career is all about for y'all, what it means to y'all? Yes, please. Absolutely, that is what exactly it is. But talking about that, okay, how big, okay, today I'm going to ask you a next question. Today, can you tell me what kind of job roles are you all aware? Anybody, I want randomly people just saying, and I will just start counting the job roles. Yes, so can we do that, please? Anybody, tell me. Associate level.
Any level, the job roles that you are aware of as an individual. HR executive, research analyst, data engineering, financial analyst, portfolio management, great, investment bankers, great, 6, equity research, 7, 8, research associates, fine, it's emerging, great.
Software developer.
10,
Brand managers,
11,
event management executives,
fantastic, 12, and fine, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so what is really going to happen, what we are really trying to do here? Just to tell you today, we have 40 plus job roles in India today. Okay, and it becomes very important for us to know these job roles, and then so that we can work towards it, right? Today, on an average, including the parents and the students, and in general, when I'm talking about individual, know about 7 to 8 job roles in all. So when we have the base, it's very important for us to have a goal that we are going to invest nearly, let me put it, more than 35-40% of your waking hour, you're going to invest working, right? So it's very important to
get a base right, to have a focus right, to understand what you want to really work towards. So a lot of inputs needs to go into it. So what's this fuss all about? The fuss is all about that today the data shows nearly 80% of the people working are not really happy with their job roles, because at the base, when they have to make up their mind or in the journey, they couldn't make the right decisions, or more importantly, they did not know about it, right? Okay, so what's the solution here? What we're really trying to do here is just give you an idea, is that how the challenges that we are facing can be discovered through personality traits, through career values, through a lot of things that we can do. I'm just going to like skill gaps. What are the skills gap do we have? So basically you need to understand the core, where you are, and from there how you can take it to the next level, and you can connect yourself with the existing job roles that we have today. So today what we are really seeing is the industry expectations and the via academic output. So I will it's all, we are there, we know about it, right? What is the expectation of the industry, what the academics are doing, and how we want to have the learning outsourced. So having said that, what we are really trying to do here in Born Infinity is we have tried to create certain products that starts from the core, where we have the career discovery tests, where we have analysis, a psychometric test to understand the students. Having understood that, see, I know most of you all are into research or in this, but it's very understand that anything that you start with, you have to understand the core and take it up from there, right? So here what we are really trying to do is we have mentorships, and our USP is we have all the mentors from the industry today, right? So that is how we are trying to bridge the gap with the academy, what is actually being taught and how practically that can be implemented, and we are trying to merge that through various tools. We have also the other things which we have been talking about, right? The AI generative, how it can help us, okay, to understand, and analytics becomes much more faster. The work that we are doing through ChatGPT becomes, it's all about convenience today, and how we are adapting and how we are using that. So this is what we are trying to do in not only with the not only with the institutes today, but also with the industry today, where we have the AI interview, where we have in-depth analysis of every individual. If in an industry resume needs to be shortlisted and processed, what we are really trying to do here is that very quickly at a click of a button, how the things will change, and you can actually change your resume, or the interview process is much more faster. The mundane things of the work is being taken care. So what happens, like the example which I thought about typewriter, right? Once when we had the typewriter, it took such a lot of time, right? But now when the laptop came, it was a big box. When the computer came, it was a big box. Now it's a laptop. So it's all been a process over the period of time, because the data shows, and that is a fact, that students who are in secondary schools and primary schools, in next 30 years, the jobs that we are doing today, which we had done 30 years back, will change. But as a core remains the same, the base will remain the same, but the jobs will keep on changing. So this is what Born Infinity really does, and we have been very engaging, and we have amazing data points and algorithms, because we are working with some of the top institutes in India. We have 10 IIMs, and also we are working with corporates. So what really helps us to do is to understand, and this knowledge helps us to execute and deliver to the students too, like we have Coursera and things like that. I'll not take much time here. Our core team, of course I need to tell, because they are doing an amazing job, where Suresh Nair and Abhay Gupta, they are part of the core team from SPJMR and PricewaterhouseCoopers experience and Future Group experience. And recently we have acquired LedUp, because we realized the people who have been working for 10-15 years need change. They need to upskill, right? So that's why very systematically we have created an entire ecosystem. We have the management team. I'll just skip through these slides. Now let me get to the point how we have created impact and stories and case studies. Here we see as a key objective is every institute, every aspirations of the students here. We really need to, this case studies are very interesting because it's been a journey, and wanted to share these things to you. Is that every institute, okay, every students are aspiring for a better job prospects, and how we have very systematically helped over a period of year the journey with the students, and the results have started showing the kind of impactfulness we have. Last, I will go through, there are various data points, of course, in different sectors, but I would like to share one data point with XLRI that we did. Now, which is very important to understand is this, that any product, this is what we always advise the students. I think I'm going ahead. Okay. Can we go back 2-3 slides back, please? One more. Yes, this is where I would like to stop and just like to say that anybody, whoever are doing the researchers or the students who are doing it, take a core thing as a niche, and if you can really work. So what happened in XLRI, they were doing very well with the HR and all, then they wanted to focus on product management, right? Because that job, there were companies coming, there was a demand in the market. But what really happened is that the demand was not being filled, and so what the trainings and the researchers really went into it to create the kind of leverage that the industry requires. So that's what we did it very systematically. And last, I would like to just end it with the kind of...
Next slide.
Yeah.
Next slide.
Yeah. Just, these are the data points, yeah. I just will glance through because just wanted to tell you, yeah. So what we are trying to do here, the data points are very important as our panelists said, right? These data points help us to understand every students, every institute, and based on that, so we have a varied experience of institutes, and we are really trying to take it forward with all our coaches and industry experts. So I would just like you to glance through these slides very honestly, because these are the experts in every, because we try to create a product niche, okay, and based on the product niche, we try to execute and get the knowledge that is required and bridge the gap. So I would like to end my session saying that this is a very important, we need to understand as an academician how we can really give a real hand experience, and we really try to bridge the gap what the industry requires. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kundu, for sharing your insights. While we would love to have an elaborate Q&A respecting everyone's time and conference timelines, we will take up 3 questions from the audience for our esteemed guest on the dais.
Can we have a mic here? Yes. Any questions from the audience? You can raise your hand and just go ahead. Yeah, yes.
Sir, you spoke about the Dwello business in which you have mastered the art of technology usage for lead generation, which by and large is the biggest task for any real estate. So it is outsourced or it is your in-house patented technology which you use?
Everything is in-house for us, nothing is outsourced, right? So I think we have a tech team which basically works and accumulates the leads and bases the need, right? It's a two-way process, right? We get a feedback and we inform the kind of leads that we want in the kind of locations, and then we basically run our marketing efforts to generate those leads.
Thanks.
Hello everyone. So my question is, there is an economist called Gray Gibb, and he says that you can use your demographic dividend only once. So in a growing economy, China used it in the 90s and before that, and now they are where they are, right? Comparing it with the Indian demographic right now, we say that we have the largest demographic dividend, that is 30, the people who are very young, and how we can use them. Looking at the tech that the speaker spoke about, using that, how do you see the replacement of the AI or the things that are coming in? They are creating new jobs, but usually what happens is the new jobs that are created are not at that faster rate the jobs that they're replacing. So we have two questions here, that we use the AI to improve the overall productivity. At the same time, we have to look at the people who are not really aware or maybe not really well equipped with that those technologies. So how do you bridge that gap, and how soon can we see that demographic dividend for India as well to move forward?
A quick one. I think you talked about technology and impact. Interestingly, yesterday I met somebody who actually had come to meet me, and I can share the company's name. It's a kind of startup by an IIT Mumbai alum, IIM Calcutta alum, and I think you can probably look up to this company. It's called salesagent.ai. It's a company, and the product that actually they were pitching me was intelligent sales calling, right? So you have now AI enabled calls that are being made. Amitabh Bachchan can call you, right? Saying your name and how you're doing today, and then being responsive. And he actually gave me a demo of the call. So he said it is near real experience, right? So what you're saying is, you get these leads and you ask me the question, leads are generated, and I give it to my real humans to call the people and then basically get a feedback. He says the lead can go to the system, and then Amitabh Bachchan or whoever, or Shah Rukh Khan can call you and talk about the kind of property that you inquired for is available, and tell me how we could meet you types, right? And it was very interesting. So I asked him about how he's going to manage the language. The system is so intelligent that it asks you, "Janab, kaise kar rahe hain aap?" And then you respond in Tamil. The system will start talking to you in Tamil. Imagine Shah Rukh Khan interacting with you in Tamil, right? So, or suddenly I think change, the tone could change and become Rajnikant, right? And that's possible today, right? In terms of I was quite impressed. And yesterday itself, I told him that we should adapt him, and of course, to some extent, we are already doing it. But focused organizations like this essentially are taking it to the next level. So I'm actually going to, with a lot of leads that I have, which essentially have gone cold over a period of time, I would possibly deploy this tool to augment. Now, his business model, right? So his business model is either number of minutes that you have a conversation with, or he said I can do a profit share. If my conversation leads to revenue, I get 20% of that revenue, right? I said I'm fine. Anyways, leads which are not working or gone dead, I will employ this tool, and I'm more than happy to share the 20% of the revenue that I would come back. Another question to the question that you asked, I said you keep killing our voice BPO industry, right? So the dividend that we could, so our IT and especially the outsourcing industry in India is a function of the dividend that we had. What dividend we had? We had arbitrage. What arbitrage? Labor arbitrage, right? So we exploited the labor arbitrage. The things which used to probably happen at a certain cost in US, by again that time the technology, right? You had the calls, you had the lines, and that technology was a big deal. And we exploited the technology, and the calls, rather than going from, say, Europe or US, they came from here at maybe 10-20% of the cost, right? And we had that arbitrage, and then that arbitrage led to a business model. And I told him that you're taking away the arbitrage. And he told me, Anil, anyway that is going to go. See, technology is here, right? And we talked about the technology democratization and availability and accessibility of the technology. So it's going to be there. Now, all these BPO companies, and I said, And I was just thinking that in these 10,000 people that they are employing, he said this is essentially going to make them able and probably going to make them more efficient. Probably today these 10,000 people are making 1 lakh calls. Now with this technology they are able to make maybe 5 lakh calls, right? So you possibly is going to add to the current ability that you possibly would have. And those 10,000 people would maybe do a job which is little superior. Maybe when calls get validated through the technology call, they will do the follow-up call with the human calls, right? Because you would possibly need an intervention there. So one would need to see how the things are going to evolve, right? My question again was, why didn't these BPOs or the companies see this? You know, you are inventing this tool and you are giving it to them. They are earning billions of dollars. Why didn't they invent this and do it? So we wait for the change to happen. It's essentially, you know, the organization and most of the businesses are reactive in nature and not proactive. So this is one classic example happened yesterday evening. I can keep on talking about this, but I think, you know, we already have taken a lot of time. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salvi. Thank you, audience, for the questions. With every event, every event finds its fulfillment in the expression of gratitude from the organizing team.
Just maybe
One last question. We'll take up that as the last question.
Yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful discussions that we had today. So, I mean, there was a very interesting slide that caught my attention, particularly in the presentation shared by Dr. Manjari, where you had actually compared and contrasted the trends in the academic and the business research. Am I right, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah. So, if we look at that, now as an academician, what I understand is that if you look at the goals of the academic and business research, they're quite distinct. In fact, if you look at the focus and also the objectives, they are also pretty distinct. Now, when it comes to this sort of, when we are discussing the business landscape in emerging era, my question is that whether these differences or the distinctiveness will be an impact or will create an impact. Do you foresee that on the business landscape, or do we need to have a better coherence?
Thank you for your question. And I think it's a great question to see whether how do we, and what's happening. So I also mentioned about, collaboration and coexistence. So business and research, or academia and business, they cannot exist in isolation. What is the purpose of business and what is the purpose of education? It's basically to, if you see the larger purpose is of course to uplift, it's basically to build a nation, to uplift the society, yeah, and talking about a level playing field for all. So if business is doing something in isolation, it may not serve the purpose, same as the education. So, and the kind of inputs which is so academic, if academic went of mind, okay, you are doing deep research, all right, one is that knowledge creation, wonderful, we need that. But how much our research is application oriented? How much our research is multidisciplinary in nature? The moment it becomes multidisciplinary and action oriented, we are trying to help businesses. Similarly, businesses, they cannot, I think we both of them have talked about very, very relevant aspect. What is the purpose of research? Right? The purpose of research is trying to choose the right pathway. Okay, technology they are just helping us, enabling to discover the information, converting them into knowledge, and then drawing insights from there. So they go hand in hand. I think for this, businesses have to, or industry have to come forward and to accept academia in giving them research projects, which is problem oriented, action oriented, okay, and academia also have to think about themselves that when they are producing research papers, it is not just for the sake of, putting into journals, which is used for rating and ranking, but it has a larger purpose, it has a goal. Goal is, what are the implications for the society? How does it help a business? Because until, whatever we do in terms of education, if education is not benefiting the society, there's no purpose of education. Similarly, if businesses are producing something which is not helping in upliftment of not just their revenue generation, but overall the economic development, okay, and how they are seen at the global platform, it doesn't make any sense. So ultimately, we are talking about the research both at the business front and the academia front, which is again long-term and sustainable in nature. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Srivastava.
So I know that I'm probably killing a lot of questions, because usually questions have a way of emerging. Once it starts, it's like the product life cycle, where then it suddenly starts growing. But at least some of them are going to be here over tea for some more time. I'll encourage you to meet them and speak to them. And for our students, we know Mr. Nair has always been a benevolent teacher, and I'm going to engage him a little more and teach us a little more. So please hold on to your questions, because all of them have got something else to go forward to. So we'll wind up the question answer session here. So please don't dart looks at my master of ceremonies for now. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Every event finds its fulfillment in the expression of gratitude from the organizing team. So as we near the conclusion of the day one of this exceptional conference, I invite Dr. Gunjan Hasijani to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sachi ma'am. A very good afternoon, everyone. As we conclude this insightful inaugural session of the IMRC 2025, it is my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee. The aim of the conference is to serve as an enriching platform for scholars, academicians, and industry experts to share their insights and research in the field of business management. And I'm sure we'll be able to fulfill the same by tomorrow, as the conference finishes tomorrow. First and foremost, I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. Anil Salvi, Dr. Manjari Srivastava, and Mr. Sachin Nair. Thank you so much for being a part of our inaugural session. The inspiring address has sent a meaningful tone for setting discussions for future research and collaborations. Your presence, ma'am and sirs, and insights have truly elevated the conference. Thank you so much. A special thank you to our esteemed panelists and paper presenters for their valuable contributions. I hope your presentations, which we are about to start in some time, will lead to thought-provoking discussions and diverse perspectives, which will add immense value to our collective understanding about the subject of research and business management. Thank you. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to our academic collaborators, the SIES College of Management Studies, SIES Indian Institute of Environmental Management, the SIES School of Packaging, and the SIES School of Pharmacy. Their support has played a crucial role in our research conference. A heartfelt note of gratitude to our award sponsors, Impact Sure and Board Infinity, whose support reinforces the importance of academic research and collaboration. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am, for being here with all of us today. The vote of thanks wouldn't have been the vote of thanks unless I thank our director, Dr. Deepa Dikshit, for and the trust, their constant support and exceptional leadership and meticulous planning has ensured the success of this event. So thank you so much, ma'am. My deepest gratitude goes to my co-convener, I think she's outside, Dr. Swati Checker. She's here. Dr. Swati Checker, for her unconditional support. Special thanks to Dr. Nitin Wazirani, Dean Academics, the chairpersons, and all the faculty members for their constant support and encouragement throughout this event. A big thank you to the technical team and the non-teaching staff and support staff for their efforts in ensuring the smooth execution of the conference. Lastly, a heartfelt thank you to all my dear students, the research team, and the volunteers for their enthusiasm and tireless efforts Your behind the scenes efforts have been invaluable. Thank you all. So as we conclude, I'm sure that we will take forward the learnings from today's discussions and work towards meaningful contributions in the field of business management, sustainability, and research. We hope to see you all in the future editions of this conference. Thank you once again and have a great day ahead.
While we are capturing this moment with the conveners, and we will start with the next section of the conference paper presentation shortly. Post capturing this memory, we will have a group photograph with the entire set of audience, so I request your patience. I'll request our dignitaries to take a seat in the audience for a group photograph.
Just easy to take it like this.
I request your attention while we are seated and settling down. Post the pictures, I will request the escorts to usher the dignitaries to Kalpavriksha. We will have a 10-minute tea break. The tea arrangement is right outside the auditorium. Post the tea break, we will begin with our paper presentation sessions covering multiple tracks in marketing, finance, operations, human resource, and general management. Participants are requested to proceed after the group photograph to their respective rooms. For reference, we would have Sakshi, can I request you for reference of the rooms to just put on that slide so that it is easier for people to take their respective rooms.